A few years ago, a single photograph quietly went viral. Two soldiers standing across from each other at a border. One South Korean and one North Korean. Same age, same blood, same ancestors going back thousands of years. 70 years ago, they would have been the same person. But the South Korean soldier stands over 6 feet tall, and the North Korean barely reaches his shoulders. He looks like a child standing next to a grown man. And it isn't just him, it's every soldier on that border. An entire nation of people who look like a different species from the cousins they share blood with. North Korea didn't just hide its people from the world, it changed what they physically look like. This is the story of how a single government starved an entire generation into a smaller shape. In 1945, Korea was one country, one people. North and South were identical. Same height, same lifespan, same everything. If you'd measured someone from the North and someone from the South, you couldn't have told them apart. Then came the war, the split, and two completely different futures. North Korea today has 26 million people, is roughly the size of England, and is so locked down that we genuinely know more about the surface of Mars than we do about what's happening inside it. And what the government tells its people about their own country is not what the rest of the world sees. Because here's the thing, before we get to the horrifying part, you have to understand the lie the North Korean government has been telling for decades. And once you hear it, everything else in this story hits differently. According to state media, North Korea is basically paradise. No poverty, no hunger, no inequality. Kim Jong-un personally ended food shortages and brought prosperity to every citizen. That's the official line. Now look at what the UN says. Over 40% of the population is malnourished. Around 11 million people are food insecure. Children are stunted from chronic hunger. Two completely opposite versions of reality. Only one of them is true. Meanwhile, down south, things went the other way. South Korea got rich, built an economy, started exporting cars, electronics, K-pop. By 2020, the average South Korean teenager was eating around 3,000 calories a day and standing taller than most Europeans. North Korea went the opposite direction, sealed borders, banned private food production. And then, in the early 90s, when the Soviet Union collapsed and the food aid stopped, something happened that the regime has spent 30 years pretending didn't: a famine. And what happened next is what physically changed a generation forever. Around 3 million people died out of a population of 22 million. Roughly 1 in every 10 North Koreans starved to death in about 4 years. The northern and eastern provinces got hit hardest. Entire towns where the children just disappeared. And the kids who survived, the toddlers and babies during the worst years, never grew properly. When you're starving during the years your body is meant to be developing, the damage is permanent. Bones don't lengthen. Organs don't fully form. Even the brain can be affected. You become whatever shape malnutrition lets you become, and you stay that way for life. That whole generation is grown up now, and the numbers are honestly shocking. According to research from Seoul National University, the average North Korean man today is around 13 centimeters shorter than the average South Korean. North Korean women are 6 centimeters shorter. North Korean children weigh significantly less than South Korean kids of the same age. Same people, same genetics, totally different bodies. But here's the part almost nobody talks about. The famine never actually ended. The UN reckons over 40% of the population is still malnourished in any given year. Kids are still growing up hungry. The next generation will be smaller too. And the one after that. The border between these two worlds is only 4 kilometers wide, the most heavily guarded border on the planet. And the soldiers standing on either side aren't just politically different anymore. They're biologically different. And the North Korean government's response to any of this is to ban people from talking about it. State media never mentions the famine. School textbooks pretend it didn't happen. People who tried to escape and got caught were executed. Defectors who spoke about it publicly are called foreign spies. The official position is still that North Korea is a paradise, but the soldiers on the border tell a different story without a single word. You see it in their faces, their hands, the way their uniforms hang off bodies that should have been bigger. A whole country made smaller by its own government, not as a metaphor, physically. And if reunification ever actually happens, what's the world going to see? A South that spent 70 years getting richer and taller. A North that spent the same time getting poorer and smaller. Two halves of the same people who'll literally have to look up at each other to make eye contact. That gap wasn't natural, it was built. Generation by generation, meal by missing meal. By a government that called it sovereignty and called the people across the border traitors. This is what happens when a government decides its people exist for the state, not the other way around. If you want more stories about the places the world isn't really paying attention to, subscribe. Because honestly, there's a lot more of them.